Hey, everybody. I am attorney Michael Eline. And as you guys know, I am an attorney licensed to practice law in both California and Texas. And I'm also a patriot, and I'm an inactive U.S. Marine, and I love my country. And so I am coming on today to give you some updates about last night's show, some updates about the P. Diddy thing, the whole, the big Hollywood, all the politicians going to his parties and getting crazy. And I've also got an update on my story about Enoch Burke in Ireland. Enoch Burke is the Irish, I believe it was a Northern Ireland school teacher, so a Protestant. And he was fired from his teaching job in Ireland because he refused to use the transgender pronouns. He says it goes against his religious beliefs. And as we know, that the government in the UK has basically, many say, been taken over by the World Economic Forum. And their agenda is a transhumanist agenda. And so the courts are refusing, apparently, to allow his younger brother to become a member of the bar. So that's very interesting. He studied to become a lawyer, and he's being prohibited from entry to the bar. And so it sort of reminded me of the George Orwell, the imagine a boot stamping on your face forever kind of thing. And we know that a certain political party in this country wants to make America Europe again. They want to make us more like Europe, right? Where we don't have a Bill of Rights. We don't have freedom of speech. They want to quell speech. They want to censor speech. And so, and last night, of course, my video was censored by this platform. And so we're already considering maybe Patreon or another way to get the message out, because we know that the very same people, who support that also, unfortunately, are part of this company that we have to cast from. So first thing I want to do is say hi to all my mods and all my friends. And guys, I had a really rough day today. Again, I've been up since like 04, but I've had this adrenaline taste in my mouth all day. Being a Marine and loving my country so much, and I'm just so devastated at what's happened to our country in the last 3 years, the wide open borders, the flooding across of people who have absolutely zero care for our Constitution or our way of life, just coming here for free phones, free hotels, in my opinion, to get free stuff and live off of us and the government. And then we'll hear some stories about other people in Springfield who feel the same way as me. And it's coming to a city near you guys. And so I want you to be aware of that. And then I'm also going to share with you some video again from Professor Nez. Last night I shared some video with you from Professor Nez. And as many of you know, Professor Nez is a former college professor who got so fed up with the wokest cult religion that he calls it, that he just decided to start going full-time as a YouTube caster and video caster, not just YouTube. And so we're going to share some really, really cool video from him. Steve Ladner, I'm with you, brother. Steve Ladner says, I'm ashamed of the country I grew up in. And I got to tell you, man, my father was a Marine before me. My uncle was a Coast Guardman, and all of my friends pretty much are either Navy SEALs or U.S. Marines. I do have some friends who are in the 75th Ranger Battalion, and pretty much just guys who are in high-speed units. I just identify with that kind of people, those kind of people. And they're all telling me the same thing. Many of them have already moved to Slovakia so they can try and get what they had here when they grew up, which is a society, a lawful society where people love their country and love their neighbor. And when you see these videos, you're going to be blown away tonight, guys. So I've got a really good show for you. Tomorrow, I'm going to visit my mom down in San Diego, so I won't be able to do any shows for the next couple of days. So this will be the wrap up for the week. But I do want to say thanks, everyone, for showing up. Reverend Sean Murphy, thank you for showing. Let's OTVO, thanks for showing. Let's OTVO also told me earlier today that he ordered a copy of my digital version of my ebook about how I became a practicing lawyer with no law degree, my journey of how I did that, the ebook version of that, and he hasn't gotten it yet. So first of all, guys, I honestly, I'm pretty sure that everybody who ordered an ebook on PayPal, I emailed. So number one, check your email, but I'm going to go back tonight after the show, and I'm going to look at my PayPal and see what orders have come in. Make sure that you guys, when you do the order, you include an email in the comments that you want them sent to, because if you have a separate email for your PayPal, that's the one that I would be using unless you put a separate one. But for sure, I'll throw in an extra one for you, Let's OTVO, for someone else. So I'll give you two since you're waiting, and I didn't want that to happen. Watching Delete Laws' channel and seeing people pop in on the chats saying, hey, we never got our shirt or our hat or whatever. I know that really bums him out because he really, really is diligent and wants people to get his products. So thank you again, everybody, for joining Team MPE tonight. Just doing my housekeeping at the very beginning. Jeff, good seeing you. Fabian, I don't know how do I give you my Yarrick? I don't know what a Yarrick is, brother, but it sounds like yarmulke or something. I don't know what it is. Tell me what it is in the description or shoot me a link. I'll try to figure it out. Mama Lion, I appreciate you showing up. And again, Mama Lion, you got that wrench. So if we've got trolls, you know what to do. And Bo Ghibli won. Yes, they sure did. Those Beatles are the ones. Well, Nixon thought it was the Beatles, and he loved Elvis Presley. So maybe it was. Who knows? And then Sigavit, I love it that you're here today, brother. And yes, Steve Ladner, I totally agree. A lot of the people on my channel are veterans, a lot of Navy veterans. My battle taxi, hoorah, get me to the game, right? Get me to the chess match. And then age go, overturn civil asset forfeiture. Now, guys, this is going to be cool too, because we're going to see an actual DMV audit with a bunch of illegal alien Haitians in the DMV, where the DMV personnel, and as we know, the DMV personnel, as well as the United States Post Office, is all in for the left. We know that the SEIU is all in for the left. Many of them are Marxists. And in my opinion, they really don't like or love our country. They kind of remind me of Michelle Obama, kind of have a sort of a negative view of our country. And then I wanted to update you about the Puff Daddy, I don't know what he called this parties, but we did a P. Diddy show last night. We talked about how all the politicians and actors and actresses were going to his parties, like Oprah Winfrey, and they're all getting crazy over there. And it appears, and I can't prove it right now, but it appears, so I'm not saying this is a fact, that Barry Soetoro, aka Barack Obama, and Big Mike were going to the P. Diddy parties, and P. Diddy allegedly has video of Barry getting down with, I guess, certain people he shouldn't be getting down with. And if that's the case, it makes sense that the FBI lost all the video from Epstein Island. We've been talking about that for a while now, how there were like thousands of pinhole cameras that Epstein had all over his mansion, where these Hollywood celebrities, politicians, heads of our alphabet agencies were going there and getting down with little kids. And of course, immediately they went there. And many people say they raided his house to try to capture that tape because they wanted to hide it. And perhaps the heads of the ABC agencies, like Hoover used to do, are using it to blackmail politicians to keep their jobs, get raises, and hold on to political power. And that's why I disagree with these cabinet level ABC agencies to begin with, because literally some bureaucrat who hates their country could take control of the nation by blackmailing and compromising politicians. And many people believe that is how Hoover held on to power. Give me a bunch of ones if you know the story about Hoover and how he was keeping dossiers on government officials and blackmailing them so he could keep his job. And I feel that's probably still going on to this very day. And so what we'll do is we'll get into that, and we'll do some clips. Hey, Rami, good seeing you, buddy. Totally happy to see you. OCTAF, overturned civil asset forfeiture laws. Absolutely. That's another holdover from Admiralty Maritime Law that somehow found its way into our justice system. That again, government creates a crisis, like flooding our country with drugs, right? Like, we know that at least one LAPD detective exposed the fact that the CIA was flooding Watts and Compton with crack cocaine back in the 80s, and he exposed it. And of course, whenever they flooded our country with drugs, they want to do their no to drugs campaign, right? And then pass laws. That's always the idea, right? Create a crisis and then pass a law. Rahm Emanuel used to say, one of Barry Soetoro's buddies used to say, let no crisis go to waste. And so we know that they do create crises, and then they try to pass a law so to restrict our freedoms. And so a big law is going to be coming because they flooded our country with over 30 million people. We have no idea who they are. Give me a bunch of ones if it's just a matter of time before one of these people sets off a dirty bomb, or it brings in tuberculosis or some kind of a disease, highly infectious disease. And that would give them an excuse to put us back on lockdowns, to do another vote by mail, USPS type deal, right? so they could start, doing stuff to make sure their guy gets in. We don't want to say too much because we don't want to get in trouble with the thought police, right, guys? But you guys know what I mean. And so, yes, Mama Lion, that's right. And then, yes, everybody make sure to check Brick Jonesy's show after the live tonight. And even if I go long, check out his link. Let's OTVO. Make sure to keep reminding us through the show. I want you guys to support Brick Jonesy because he's always supported me and Chili, and he's part of Team MPE. So make sure to check him out as well. He's got some great stuff. And hey, what's going on, Deepak Nelson? Good seeing you, brother. You're in India. Yes. Do a thug shaker. Yeah. Now, Deepak Nelson, I think I know who you are. So as you guys know, I'm also a webmaster. And over the years, because, I write HTML5 and JavaScript and stuff like that, I met a lot of really cool people in India. And I love the Indian people. I think they're really good people, and they're just gracious, good people, in my opinion. Other people may have a different view. I know their culture is different than ours, and that's fine with me. I've always gotten along great with them, and I just think that they're really good, humble, nice people. And so, everybody give a bunch of ones for Deepak Nelson or Deepak Nelson. And then, yes, Amanda Elliott says, hey, Jody Shiloh. Amanda Elliott says they're all corrupt. And then everybody, again, super chats and coffees and all that stuff. You go to the front of the chat. And I'll give you recognition during the show. If anybody wants to say something or mention something that they want to get out, I'll always give time for you guys and give you some priority because I know that, you worked hard for that and you want to be heard. So I'll do that as well. And let me see here. Yes, Bo Ghibli, that's for sure. What a terrible person. And then Amanda Elliott, that's right. Pass chump laws, then make money. And, we see that all the time. They actually let those alleged hijackers come into our country and then fly. Apparently, they flew planes into buildings. And now we know that allegedly the guy, who is that guy? The terror guy. I already forgot his name. The guy that I guess Barry took out, Bin Laden. We know that Bin Laden, was on the CIA payroll, according to documents that I've read. Don't know if it's true. So again, this is just basically me reading things that look like official documents. Don't know if it's true. So all you thought police, don't use that as a reason to try to come after me. Because we know he's your guy, right? We know that Barry Sotero and Big Mike, those are your guys. We get it. Cops are 5150. Super, super happy to see you. And again, since we're in vertical mode, make sure to double tap the screen. That's how I get likes. I bet, I'm getting like 30, 40,000 views for these shows and getting like 100 likes. So don't forget, since you don't see a like switch, that's okay. Just double tap the screen and make sure to always save my videos to your favorites. And honestly, guys, upload them to your computer because you never know when the thought police are going to take down this channel. So let me just make sure I've got everybody in the show that my regular guys. What's the matter, you? Good seeing you, Chuck Bronson. I'm so happy you're here, man. So Chuck Bronson, you're going to have a good time tonight, dude, for reals. And then Reverend Sean Murphy, you do have to get your daughter, but you can always watch my show later. Family comes first, and you guys know that about me. I'm all about families. I think that all of us should be out there being fruitful and multiplying, doing homeschooling, doing family farms, trying to do anything you can do to get away from the great Leviathan and their brainwashing system that they've been forcing on us. And so with that being said, we're going to go ahead and kick off the show with my regular stuff that I normally do. And then we'll get into the videos and my commentary from a legal patriotic lawyer's perspective. So here we go. To another edition of Ask Michael Eline. This is where I teach people the law in an unorthodox manner by using examples that we see in the news, case law briefs, but it's all about exposing the Leviathan and its instrumentalities and taking back your rights. Know the law and mean to keep it well. Come here to learn from an expert to know your right. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to save, because we never know when the thought police are going to take down this channel. That's right. You never know when the thought police are going to take down this channel. So again, for those of you who have bought a digital version of my ebook on PayPal, this is the soft cover, but this is my journey to becoming a practicing lawyer with no law degree or undergrad, my first edition. For those of you who have ordered a copy through my YouTube page, under the description, you open it up and there's a PayPal link. For those of you who have bought my book, I got a report tonight from Let's OTVO that he bought one back on the 5th and he still hasn't received it. So number one, I apologize, but I'm going to make it up to you, Let's OTVO, and I'm going to give you 2. And I'm going to go back and look tonight and try to figure out what the heck is going on. And Let's OTVO did say that Brick Jonesy's doing a show tonight. So after my show, or during my show even, double stream both of us. Just make sure to give him some love. Make sure to subscribe to his channel and give him some likes. He's been a very loyal fan of Chili over at Delete Laws, who I hold in high esteem for putting his money where his mouth is, being willing to go to jail for what he believes in, like our founding fathers were. And so people like that, really, I just have utmost appreciation and respect for people who put their money where their mouth is. So, and then let me see here. Hey, Rami, Michael said to contact you with suggest. Okay, cool. Yeah. So, Rami, please give a way to for these people to contact you. I mean, if you want to, you don't, I'm telling them to reach out to you because I get inundated, and I'll be honest, I have a regular job and I'm working all day. And I think that because they're part of Team MPE and you are as well, that we could work together to form parallel systems. And I felt that it would be a great way for all of us to form parallel systems by talking with Rami and finding a way to do that. And when I say parallel systems, what I mean is like what MLK did, MLK Jr. did. When the shopkeepers treated blacks bad, he boycotted their shops. And I want us to do the same thing. We can form parallel systems and do business with each other and buy from each other and sell to each other without having to deal with the BlackRock, Leviathan, the World Economic Forum scam, where they're trying to transhumanize all of us and brainwash our children, in my opinion. And so I think it's a really good idea for us to form parallel systems. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and share what's going on in California right now. And this is what you have to look forward to if we continue down the lawlessness that certain politicians in single party states are trying to thrust upon the population. So this is in Communist Fornia. Check this out. Oh, I better turn off the sound. We don't want to have sound on here because, yeah, you know how that goes. So check it out. Of course, they got their military style car, right? That's what when you go in the Marine Corps, they get car. Like he's even got plates. Must be stolen. Stealing mail, federal offense. Just jacking the mail, looking for some stuff. Of course, what's she gonna do, right? Oh, I hope I didn't misgender her. Oh boy, I hope I don't get in trouble. So you kind of see what's going on. It's happening all over the place, and it's just getting worse because what's happening now is so Camel Toe and other politicians can say that crime has gone down. They're just not prosecuting crime. That's the problem. Give me a bunch of ones if you agree that that's exactly what's going on. Or they're raising the penalties. Like, for example, it used to be, I believe, in California, $500 shoplifting for it to be a felony. Now they raised it to $900, right? So it's just, now it's only a misdemeanor. So then they can report to the insurance companies the crime has gone down to try and artificially decrease the insurance rates for the already struggling residents in California who can't even get insurance, right? Insurance companies are pulling out of California in droves. I don't even think Geico Insurance writes insurance policies for cars anymore. We know it's almost impossible to get insurance policies for homes in California. So it's totally out of control. We know that interest rates were lowered the other day just in time for the election. Give me a break, right? Like, you think that was not purposefully done to try to help somebody get into the White House. So we kind of know what's going on. You're right, Amanda Elliott. Woke people need to wake up. And so the first thing we're going to do tonight is, many of you saw ABC come out and call one of the presidential candidates a liar for saying that these voodoo worshipers who have been flown in by the Biden administration, many of them, into Springfield, Ohio, are not really eating dogs and cats and pets, even though they do that in Haiti all the time. I guess they stopped doing it when they came here. And we know that in light of, even though the Attorney General said there's overwhelming evidence that they are, and there's 911 tapes, ABC went with the city manager. And now we know that the city manager and the mayor of Springfield have a property interest in the apartments that are being rented, I believe 3 times the rate of the normal property values, because they're being subsidized by the Biden administration, the federal government, with your tax dollars. And so residents are complaining that their apartment prices are skyrocketing. They're getting kicked out of their homes because the government is paying more money to these landlords and all of these politicians like the city council, right, to house these illegal aliens. And so that's the story. Can't say it's true or not, because if I make a statement like that, I could get in trouble with the thought police who run this platform. So I have to be very careful with what I say. Last night, my video got shut down and demonetized because I make statements that are truthful. But unfortunately, when you have people like ABC who just say it's false, they go with that narrative. They believe whatever ABC says because that's their guy, right? That's their candidate. That's their party. ABC, PMSNBC, Communist News Network, they're all basically far left, basically carrying water for the Biden administration. So, of course, that gives an excuse for the thought police to demonetize you if you disagree with them. So I have to be very careful about what I say. But tonight's going to be cool because we're also going to do an audit where someone goes in to the DMV trying to figure out, why are you giving driver's licenses to these illegals? They can't even drive. And the DMV employees, of course, obviously they're all for Harris, pro Harris, right? Are trying to kick them out, saying you're not allowed to be here. This is private property, just like they do all the time. But now they're even more aggressive because it has to do with politics. The same people who at the United States Post Office deliver all of our votes just endorsed Kamala Harris for president. These are the people who carry the ballots. Do you really trust them to deliver your ballots when they specifically say in the posters at the post office, DMV post office, same thing, same horrible service, same attitude problem employees, right, guys? Give me a bunch of ones if you think the DMV and the U.S. Post Office offer the worst service and have the worst attitudes of any other business you've ever been to in your life, and they should just shut those companies down completely. But anyways, we're going to get into that a little bit. But first, I just want to show you this video. This is just going to blow your mind. More of what we know to be true, but we're being told that this is not to believe our lying eyes, right? They're giving licenses to these people and they can't even drive. And we're all trying to figure out, why are you giving licenses to people that can't drive? I wonder. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about how, for some reason in blue states, these people are automatically being registered to vote as soon as they get their driver's licenses. We're going to talk about that. And then, of course, they come back and say, oh, it was just a mistake after they got caught, right? So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to get into it. And Jeff, look, I'm with you. There are some cool postmen, but I got to be honest with you. In California, I've never met a good one. They always have had a major attitude problem. They treat me with total contempt, and I don't get it. In the DMV, same way, total contemptuous behavior. Thank you, Letzo TVO. Letzo TVO says, back the blue until it happens to you. And that's right. And it's not just the blue. It's back the ABC agencies until they mistreat you. And that's the problem. We have the Service Employees International Union. They get unionized, right? These government agencies, they get unionized. They give money to a certain political party, right? We know they're not giving it to the right because the right wants to shut down the post office because, of course, it loses money every year. And it has to be subsidized by billions of tax dollars. And of course, we don't really need a post office, many people say. But look, I'm not going to talk trash on all of them, of course. But yeah, you're right, Jeff. They charge too much for stamps, and they honestly charge too much for these bloated government salaries. And we saw what happened with X, right? X fired almost everybody, and it's operating more efficiently now than it was before. So we know that a lot of people are just dead weight. And if you have an efficient manager and you privatize things, it will always be more efficient. Anytime you have government largesse, it becomes basically a political operation where I'll give you a job if you unionize and take that union money and donate it to my political party. And that's the problem that a lot of people have with the ABC agencies. And honestly, look, everybody knows the CIA and the FBI are all in for Biden, and they were all in for Barry Soetoro and Big Mike. We know that. And so we're going to get into that a little bit. But let's get into this video, guys. You're going to have a lot of fun watching this. Here we go.
Man, they're nothing but a headache. All they're doing is raising our rent and our taxes and wrecking vehicles, and there's just been nothing but a hassle since they've been here. It's been horrible.
Springfield.
How would you rank their driving from 1 to 10?
A -10. They're horrible. The worst driving I've ever seen. I'm from down south.
And when they got chased out, he hit the curb.
He just hit the curb.
When they got
There's
chased
one.
out, she heard one of them say it and talking about, we'll come back.
Right there in real time.
Oh, shit.
In real time.
Okay, I'm going to talk to this. Look at them just blasted off. What the fuck? Do you work for the DMV by chance? Okay, so what do the Haitians have to do to get a license? Can they transfer their license from Haiti, or
No, they cannot.
do they have to undergo the same tests?
I'm not allowed to answer.
You believe that? I'm not allowed to answer.
They're getting them quick, right? Why is that? Are there certain rules they're not aware of?
They just don't pay attention, I guess. I'm not sure what it is, but they just, man, every day it's something new. They're always accident on Facebook or always seeing it. So it's always something.
In your opinion, are they doing their best to assimilate into American culture
Absolutely
and learn the ways
not.
of what it means to be an American? Or are they kind of just bringing
They
Haitian
kinda
culture here?
They bring their own culture here and stick to themselves, and they walk around stores eating food, don't pay for it. It's just they do what they want around here. It's kind of aggravating.
Okay.
It's kind of disrespectful towards us. It's been here for a long time.
You feel disrespected?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
I heard that there's rumors of neighbors' cats going missing, getting eaten. Is that real?
I've heard that. I've heard that. And they like to take the geese from the park too. I've seen that too on Facebook. So
Brett.
Is that real?
yeah, I've seen pictures. Pictures don't lie, right?
Do you know how the Haitians are getting their driver's license so fast?
I do know.
Okay. Are they driving pretty good out here or what? No.
Everybody they flip their car and
Why is that, do you think?
you don't know how to drive in general.
Okay.
Like they're like I see them driving over there trying to learn how to drive, but I don't think they have to drive at all.
Okay.
I don't even think they should have a license.
Why are they giving them
No
licenses?
lights when they be driving around.
No wonder.
Nothing.
Do you think it poses a threat to public safety?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Flip cars, just cutting people off, driving super slow. Yeah,
All right,
not
man.
safe at all.
We're asking folks their thoughts on the Haitians for a little independent news report. They can't drive? We're headed to a car crash right now. What do you think the chances are it's a Haitian?
About 99%.
All right, sister. You guys have a great night. How you doing, sir?
Oh, look, and
Question for
look
you.
in real time. ABC says this isn't happening. Don't believe your lying eyes.
Oh, there we go. That's new. You know what happened here? I see. A lot of people said it's probably the Haitian. Huh?
Don't blame those people. It wasn't
Okay.
them
Why do you say that?
because it was not Haitian.
Are they
Okay.
getting a lot of the blame for all the car accidents these days?
They could be. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what locals are telling me.
I mean, locals
They're
might be
saying it's
telling
probably the Haitians.
you. They might say that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Is there a lot of tension right now between the two groups?
Not as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, if you want to give me the answer, you tell
Biden
me what
supporter.
answer I'm going to give you.
No, I'm just asking the question.
And I'm telling you.
They're both rolling hazards right in front of us. I don't know if they just don't know how to drive. Look. The fuck y'all doing? Double yellow.
Sir, you are not allowed to take pictures in here, sir.
Oh,
Sir.
and the
All right, so we're gonna get into this. So this audit, this is the post office audit that we're gonna get into later. First, I want to say hi to Brett Ray. Brett Ray says, I haven't met anyone that beats my 7.5 hours in pain shackles. Wow, yeah, no kidding, man. I'm sorry to hear that. That's unsat. So look, we're just reporting on the news. We heard one resident say, we don't know that it's the Haitians in that particular car accident, but everybody else is saying they're just causing major accidents and they can't drive. And why would they be able to drive when they come from a third world country where nobody has any cars? What we do know is the federal government is subsidizing them to buy cars in Springfield, for example. And I have it on good authority that many of the city council and government officials have stakes and interests in the car dealerships, the apartments, and the factories that are employing these people. And many of the Springfield residents are complaining that they're getting fired because the government pays more money to have these illegals take their jobs. And they're getting kicked out of their apartments because they get more money from the federal government, the apartment owners, including the mayor and the city manager who said there's nothing to see here. Remember him? They're getting more from the federal government it's artificially increasing the property values. That's what I'm hearing. Can't prove it yet, but we're going to find out once the public records requests come back. I would imagine we'll get our public records requests responded to right after the election. Remember, it took them about 3 years to admit that the Hunter Biden laptop was a true story. Remember that, guys? So that's generally how it works. And again, I want everybody to remember, I'm a libertarian, so I'm not taking sides. Well, I kind of am. I don't really like Trump's attitude, but I certainly don't like the cackler either. And we know that she's an offspring of a communist professor, so that definitely gives me pause for thought because I believe in the constitutional republic like our founding fathers did. I believe in liberty and freedom for all, not censorship and, we need to silence people who disagree with us so we can create a unified false narrative like they had before Musk took over Twitter and started allowing real information to get out there for the public. So here's another really interesting video that I'm going to share with you. This is going to blow your mind.
Jobs are getting took up, man. You know, all these, you say our factory needs 50 people. That could be 50 Americans that don't have a job. Instead of the Haitians, they take exactly all those 50 spots, man. So that's 50 people that don't have a job. Jobs.
Right. And that's because these factories are getting federal subsidies out of your paycheck. So the employers are getting more money. The employees are actually getting money to employ these people instead. So, right. So they're actually making money by hiring people as opposed to paying, right? You guys following this? I mean, if you had a business, that'd be a great deal for you, right? Hire a bunch of illegal immigrants who go to the DMV and immediately get driver's licenses, which makes them eligible to be on the voter rolls, right? They've never been able to drive before. Make sure to get them some free money so they can go down to the local car dealership and buy a car from the same people who are on the city council, for example, if that's happening, which we will find out soon with public records requests. Everything is going to be discovered, guys. The problem is, I'll bet you most of this information, they'll fight me. They'll try to hold me up in litigation. I'm a lawyer. They'll try to hold me up in litigation until after the election because ABC, CNN, Communist News Network, PMSNBC does not want you to know this information. They do not. These people are the propaganda wing of the current administration. Give me a bunch of ones if you agree with that. Now, let me look over in the sidebar. That's right, Amanda Elliott. Our government should be ashamed of themselves, but I don't believe they really care because this is part of a move to create a one world government, right? This is part, we discussed the Lucius Foundation last night, which used to be called the Lucifer's Foundation or whatever it's called, that basically guides and leads the United Nations. We know that there are many Luciferians. We talked about the P. Diddy parties where all these devil worshipers go and get down with little kids, same thing that they were doing at Epstein Island. And now we know that Obama was going to these parties. Oprah was going to these parties. All these Hollywood actors, many of whom have admitted to drinking blood and engaging in satanic rituals, go to these parties. And we're starting to see a pattern here that these people want this one world government. Maybe they're hoping for the Battle of Armageddon, right? So their prince can come back. I don't know what the story is, guys. I'm just throwing some ideas out there. Hey, Sigovit, that's right. Jody Shiloh is where it's at. Hey, CB, right on. Okay, CB, a moment at a time. CB is a moderator over at Professor Nez. And in fact, CB, give me some time and I'm going to get you a wrench right away. Now, CB, just understand, I'm a libertarian, so I'm not a Trump or a Biden supporter. I am a supporter of the republic. I support a constitutional republic. And I used to be a Democrat, and I changed because the Democrat Party left me. When the Democrat Party became communist and Marxist, I opted out and became a libertarian because I'm more of a Robert F. Kennedy or a Kennedy Republican. But I love my country, and I was a Marine. And I wear my Eagle, Globe, and Anchor. I wear my EGA proudly. And my father was a Marine before me. And I really do love my country. And I was prepared to die for my country. And that's no joke. And I am devastated at what has happened to our country with these Hollywood celebrities and these people, these imposters who have come into power. And I believe that Barry Soetoro was the beginning of the end of our republic. I believe that he is the personification of evil. And I believe that he has destroyed our country. I believe that racism and all that stuff we were starting to normalize in this country. And he came in with his anti-white rhetoric, his woke rhetoric, and reignited, in my opinion, what could turn out to be a race war if we don't end this false religion of wokeism. Give me a bunch of ones if you guys agree. Now, but I will get you a wrench if you want to stick around, CB. And I really do like Professor Nez. And so, guys, I want you to like and subscribe to Professor Nez's channel as well. Professor Nez was a professor. He was in academia. And so, like me, same way, he left the party, right? The same deal. We saw how they turned into pink-haired like demons, right? Trying to tell boys that they're girls and girls that they're boys and all this crazy stuff that we disagree with, right? In fact, most of the American people disagree with this stuff, but because there was a lockdown on information, people are afraid to speak out because they might get canceled. They might get their social media accounts banned if they say how they really feel. But now, since Elon Musk opened up Twitter, all of a sudden we had free speech again, and people are still suffering from culture shock, like posting things that they want to say and not immediately getting banned or having their account throttled. We're still sort of in shock. Like, when's this good time going to end? When are the good times going to end, right? When's this going to end? We're all scared. So, and then Low Mountain 87 says, we're all roommates on the same planet, the same house, just another face from a different place, all one race. And I believe that. And as many of the people know on my channel, I'm in an interracial marriage, and I don't even really like the concept of race other than the human race. I believe that we're all just humans and that we're all God's children and that we should all love and respect one another. And I think this whole woke ideology of in critical race theory of these public school teachers are forcing on our children, brainwashing our children that the guy sitting next to them, the kid sitting next to them is an oppressor because of the color of their skin, or oppressed because of the color of their skin, is dangerous and demonic and anti-human. It's an anti-human philosophy designed for politicians to divide us to gain power. That's all I believe about that. Give me a bunch of ones if you guys agree. Now let's get in to the next video, because now we're going to get into this guy, man, I really, dude, guys, ladies, Professor this is the guy. This is Professor Nez is the man. And so I'm going to be doing some fast forwarding through this video because it's like over an hour. So I'm going to just be showing some snippets, but I'm going to give him his fair play. And I bought him a bunch of memberships today for his people. So I'm hoping that he's going to be okay with me sharing this stuff with you guys. Let me make sure we got the sound up, because this guy is, in my opinion, this guy is amazing.
Here is a clip that I want to share of a man from Charlesroy, Pennsylvania, saying this is what migrants have done to him and how he's been affected, how his town's been affected, and how his kid's school has been affected. Check this out.
Don't have anything in common with our culture. Culture, when people say the culture, a lot of times they say it, they don't know what it means. What culture means is the way we do things around here. Worldwide. That's what culture is. Culture means this is how we do things around here, for better or worse. You know, and what I've seen in the last 5 years since the influx has started is they have no interest in our culture, this culture. They've brought their culture here. If you go look at the main drag of town here, you'll see, you know, I mean, they've have their groceries, you know, and they have their storefronts, and, you know, the message is fairly clear, and that is, this is for us. Okay. Message received. People understand. So what I don't believe that argument of they had to bring that population here to save Charleroi has any validity. We aren't prepared for it. We don't have the tax base for it. This is a town of 4,000 people hanging on the best they can. So whoever is responsible for putting them here, that is an act of negligence. And if it's when it's found out who directly decided that this was a good place, I would say it's an act of intentional recklessness. Accountable fully. Their feet should be held to the fire long term. They should never be allowed to work in the industry again, whether it's politics or business, because what they've done here is despicable. And they don't know that, because again, nobody cares about Charleroi, Pennsylvania. The 4,000 people that lived here care about it, and we're doing their level best to make it a place to live and want to be. I'm putting my house on the market next week.
Wow.
I pulled my kid out of the school.
Oh my God.
I did baseball on that field right there.
I left California.
There's a game there Thursday night. Come down and watch if you're here. He's a good third baseman.
I can't believe it.
So it's for somebody who is born and raised in this valley and understands it from stem to stern. When I moved here in 2017, if you told me after all of the other garbage that has been heaped on this community since the early 80s, that this would be the denouement, I would have mortgaged my house and bet you were wrong. But here we are.
Wow. 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 Are you kidding me right now?
That's right.
So somebody was saying that they never heard of this town. So the name of this town is called Charleroi. You heard the resident there.
And so look, I'm gonna fast forward this. I encourage all of you, and I included the link in the description. And by the way, everybody, welcome CB a moment at a time as one of our new mods. She's a moderator over at Professor Nez's channel as well, and she's definitely earned her place here because she's right on board with Team MPE. Everything that I've seen her say. But I'm going to fast forward this really quick and get into the next segment because we have a lot to cover tonight, guys. So just bear with me. It's going to take a second. Just want to make sure I get us where we need to be. And I'm going to try to get Professor Nez to come on my show or vice versa at some point too. I really like this guy. Look, anybody who's been in the mouth of the dragon, the great Leviathan, like this guy was in academia. He's been in there with the pink-haired, blue-haired mafia, the transhumanists who want to destroy your children, right? Their minds, right? So they can hold on to political power so their party can stay in power and they can keep getting money for an underwater basket weaving class, right? And all this money subsidized, crazy stuff.
For that. And it makes no sense. So now they're also, not only are we giving them $15,000, $20,000 credit cards for food stamps,
absolutely,
and
Amanda,
free health care and free benefits and free food stamps, etc., but now, directed from the Attorney General of Ohio, illegal immigrants are taking homes from American citizens.
There you go.
It's not just a culture thing. They're replacing American citizens. I want to share this with you. This is absolutely
insane.
Should drive every American absolutely crazy. Listen to this.
Absolutely.
I want you to listen to this.
He's right.
I mean, you cannot make this up. This is coming from the Attorney General of Ohio, Dave Yost, to be specific. He says, and I quote, "In addition to straining available resources, locals have complained of migrants causing car crashes, stealing property, including livestock, squatting in homes, and killing wildlife for food." And he also says, and I quote, "Ohio is a great place to work and live, but overwhelming our small towns with massive migrant populations without any coordination or assistance from the federal government is changing that in front of our eyes. This is what happens when we have no regulation on who comes into the United States. Not only is it a security risk,
big time,
but it has the ability to overwhelm small towns. It might not seem as bad when they're coming in small groups, but I want you to visualize if 1 million people were just charging through the border all at once. It would be all over the news and everybody would be panicking. Anyways, that's all I got. God bless.
Yeah, so they're also taking homes now. Now they're taking homes, which is just insane.
Insane.
And for those people who think that the Haitian illegal migrants are not eating animals, I want to play this clip from, this is really interesting because this is a clip right here that actually talks about how this is really actually happening. So, I mean, everything that you're hearing from Trump, everything Trump said was actually right. He was right about everything.
Of course he was.
And shame on David Muir, shame on all of those guys
Scumbag.
for essentially, and I've said this many, many times, engaging in election theft. Listen to this.
Listen, I am not Haitian, but I am from the Caribbean. The Haitian immigrants are indeed eating animals. Let me tell you something about these people. Not only are they harvesting cats for food, but also for witchcraft purposes, voodoo purposes. Understand this. If
This
you
guy's
don't
from
wanna
the
take
Caribbean.
my word for it,
right.
Go out there, meet a Haitian, talk to them about it. This is not something they aren't proud of. It's their culture.
That's right, voodoo.
They eat these animals and they use the blood and bones of these animals for voodoo and witchcraft purposes.
Factual, actual.
So remember what the guy said, the first gentleman who said, you know, this is about a culture thing, right? This is a culture thing.
It is.
And this is a major culture clash.
Huge.
They don't want to assimilate.
They do not.
And look, I don't think there's anything wrong with, you know, still engendering your culture. There's
Sure.
absolutely nothing wrong with that. But look, you're in another country, a completely different country than your own. I think it's pretty important. I mean, just from a self-respect standpoint, never mind the fact that, you know, to have a little bit of empathy and consideration for you are a guest in this land. You don't act like you own the place.
Amen, brother.
Have a
Right on,
little
Professor
decorum.
Nez.
Have a little self-respect.
yeah.
Okay, you know what? We're in a new land. We're in a new culture.
Hell yeah.
Let's at least try. Effort
Double tap
speaks
that
louder
screen
than
for Nez.
anything. I'm not saying you're going to speak perfect language. And
By the way, I expect everybody, all of my channel, I've got 15,000 subscribers, I think, as of today. I want all of you guys to go to Professor Nez right here. See Professor Nez. I want all of you guys to subscribe to his channel. He's legit, man. He's a good dude. And I've been following him, and I'm just telling you, he's so inspiring. And he's a real professor. He's highly educated, and he's a son of immigrants. And I just have a lot of respect for this guy. See that right there, that American flag? See this Eagle, Globe, and Anchor that I'm carrying on my lapel? We love our country, and we put our country first, and we love our children. We don't want these demons coming into our country and not assimilating. We want a legal pathway to citizenship. We don't want a political party to flood our country with demons just so they can win elections and change the vote count and change the representation with the census, which is exactly what they're doing. If California didn't have all those illegals in their state with their open border policy and sanctuary city policy, the figures that I've read are that they would lose at least 20 representatives. That's how powerful the census is. Without casting a single vote, illegal aliens are changing the electoral college.
And you're going to start adorning American flags and start eating hamburgers and hot dogs. I'm not saying that. But at the very least, have a little tact, have a little decency, have a little respect for the ecosystem, for crying out loud.
Amen.
Am I wrong?
No.
I mean, let me know in the comments. I want to hear from you. Am I wrong about that?
No, absolutely not. He's on the money.
Also, they're taking jobs. Here's a guy in Springfield. I'm going to play another video.
Yeah.
From Charleroi. How do you say that? Charleroi, Pennsylvania. But check out this quick clip of a guy in Springfield who used to work at a factory. And guess what? So they're not only taking homes, they're not only taking over the culture, the ecosystem, pretty much the cultural zeitgeist of the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Now they're taking jobs. Check this out. And by the way, these are Americans. These are Americans who need these jobs. These guys.
And by the way, I got to tell you something. You know who hates it more than anybody are the Native Americans. The Native Americans, many of whom I am friends with, who I served along. Got to know something, guys. The Navajos love the Marine Corps. And I served alongside some of the most badass Navajo Indians you'll ever meet. And most Native Americans I've met love America, and they love this country, and they love it that they have freedom, and they do not want to be replaced by these hoodlums and demons that one political party is flooding our country with. But let's keep going.
Need these jobs. I mean, what is happening here? Listen to this.
Jobs are getting took up, man. You know, all these, you say our factory needs 50 people. That could be 50 Americans that don't have a job. Instead, the Haitians, they take exactly all those 50 spots, man. So that's 50 people that don't have a job. Jobs are getting took up, man.
So now they're taking jobs. So now they're taking jobs too.
That's right.
And I've got more. It's not just Springfield. Here is a news clip from Missouri.
Check this
out. 2 Honduran illegal alien brothers were arrested in Missouri for a series of carjacking. Guys, this is all consequence.
They don't care.
To the borders.
Let me explain something, guys. The act of entering the country illegally is a crime. So these people are already criminals before they get here. Why would they respect rule of law when they're already criminals? Think about that. Why would you want to have somebody in your country who's already a criminal? Why would they accept your country or your culture or your way of life? Why would they want to assimilate when they already know they can get away with breaking the law? Think about that. Put that into your brain housing group, right? Put that in your grape, all you Marines. Let's go.
Our Kamala Harris. And now you want to give her a promotion? She's destroyed any sense of security anybody has. This is just the beginning. They've let in 18 plus million illegal migrants.
18 million illegals.
California,
No
my state, it's
conspiracy, guys. It's
record
real.
breaking. We've never seen anything like it.
Record breaking.
This is all a direct consequence. I'm telling you, tap that thumbs up. This is the most important video.
Double
Every
tap the
American
screen.
needs to
Hit
see
like.
this. Every educated American citizen voter needs to see this.
Anyone capable of critical thinking who's not just some scumbag who spent their life on a college campus with blue or pink hair understands what's going on to this country. Let's go.
Yes. So here is a clip. 2 Honduran illegal immigrants, okay, have committed carjackings all over Missouri. I mean, what the world is going on?
Authorities now say the case of a body found along I-44 earlier this week is a murder investigation, and 2 suspects are in custody. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. The body was discovered in a ditch along the interstate in Jasper County late Monday
I love my
afternoon.
mods.
The victim, 63-year-old Jesse Gilmore from Oklahoma. At the time, authorities were searching for a red Chevy Cobalt they now say belonged to Gilmore. Investigators say they believe Gilmore was killed at the Road Ranger gas station on South Prigmore in Joplin. Deputies say Gilmore was sitting in his car when one suspect approached and shot him in the head. They also say the shooter then took Gilmore's car and dumped his body. The body was found along I-44 less than 2 miles from that gas station. Jasper County authorities say after dumping the body, the suspects drove Gilmore's car and another vehicle to Independence, Missouri. Monday night, the suspect driving the other vehicle was arrested for DWI. On Tuesday, law enforcement in Independence responded to an attempted carjacking. In that incident, authorities say the second suspect shot a woman in the chest. The last report, she was in critical but stable condition.
Unbelievable.
Authorities say the shooter took off, but was later caught by Kansas City police responding to another case about a woman who was pistol whipped. The suspects are brothers and illegal immigrants.
Oh,
from
go
Honduras.
figure.
Investigators submitted charges of first-degree murder, armed criminal action, and robbery against one brother to the Jasper County prosecutor.
Let me share something with you. As you guys know, my wife's from El Salvador. I go down to El Salvador all the time. Last time I was down there were these guys walking around with hammer and sickle flat, like stickers, like little Velcro things on their backpacks, long hair, look like your typical college campus that you would see at a typical college campus nowadays. And they're walking around and they're handing out cell phones to people saying, if you come to America, we'll activate this phone. They have maps that show you how to avoid border checkpoints. And they're apparently working with a Catholic charity down there. And they're specifically looking for communists and people who hate Bukele, the new president. If you hate Bukele, you're on the ship to come to America, right? And they have them join a caravan. They have trucks that carry their bags for them. And they tell people once they get up here, they're going to immediately get SNAP benefits, free healthcare, free everything. And if they go to California, they'll automatically get driver's licenses. And we know that the California DMV, as you're going to see in a few minutes, are automatically registering these people to vote based upon witness testimony. And we're going to talk about all this stuff. This is unbelievable what's happening, guys. This is a foreign invasion. And I believe it is high treason what these politicians are doing. Let's keep watching.
According to the sheriff's office, charges against the other brother are also expected to be filed.
I mean, this is absurd.
Absurd.
This is happening in our country, my fellow Americans, ladies and gentlemen. Everything that Trump said, everything about the election, about January 6th, about the border, they're not bringing their best. These are not people looking for a better life. These aren't families that are looking.
They're coming here looking for free stuff. Maybe some of them are wanting families and all, want to have a family, but so far it's military aged males primarily that are coming up. We know Venezuela emptied out their prisons, and the administration lied about that and said that they weren't. And finally, a whistleblower came out, and we got that evidence. They're all over Aurora, right? People were so scared they wanted the Hells Angels to come and rescue them.
To get away from the communist tyranny and despotism
They're bringing
of
it
their
here.
home countries. No, these are people from the Middle East, South America, Venezuela, cartels, thugs, terrorists, murderers. I shared with you the video of the ex-border chief saying that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden told him to shut up and be silent and to not report. You guys, I mean, the direness of this situation. I'm not one of these defeatist, fatalistic kind of guys. You know me. I am an optimist. I'm an eternal optimist. But I'm telling you right now, this is reality now. This is practicality.
Devastating.
This is not conspiracy. This is not fatalism. This is happening. It's happening, y'all.
Right.
I'm
gonna fast forward this a little bit because again, we're pressed for time, and I've got a lot of material I want to show you. Let me see if I can get right there. Let's go.
I genuinely don't care about the likes. It's about our country.
He's right.
Holy macadamia nut. This is scary. Listen to this.
There simply are too many mass migrants here in this town, and they're too richly subsidized. It's pushing people out of their homes. It's pushing people out of jobs.
We have been put down and called racist, not only in print, but also to our faces at city commission meetings. And now we are at a level of desperation.
Be a resident of Springfield, Clark County for 61 years. If our city council and everybody wants to be a part of the solution, I'm just sitting right there by the door. I haven't seen a single one of them.
Others spoke to Ramaswamy.
A new level of desperation.
That's right. People are terrified.
Level of desperation. Did you guys hear that? And I think the most important thing from that clip, one of the biggest takeaways from that clip is not only does phony lion-ass Kamala not give a rat's ass about you or me, we all know the reason they're dumping millions, thousands, tens of thousands of illegal migrants in all of these swing states, right? We all know the reason that they're doing this.
Know.
But not only, on top of all of those criminal acts, if you dare say anything, you're a racist.
That's right, or a
you,
bigot.
These indoctrination camps,
Nobody
aka
believes it anymore.
universities. I don't just call myself professor for kicks and giggles. I've been around these people, guys. See, I know you guys watch other channels, you watch other networks, what have you, but there's nobody who has what I have. I possess firsthand experience. I've worked with these people. I know Kamala. I know these people. I know them through and through because I worked at these institutions before I finally said enough is enough. And you might say, Nez, why did you work at those institutions? I had a family to feed. I'll be honest, it was out of desperation. I love my students and I love teaching, which is why I'm creating this media educational company. But I was working 10, 12, 15. I was what they call the freeway flyer. I was flying between university because they don't pay professors jack. All the administrators get all the money. Of course, the people like the Kamalas that don't do anything and never are forward facing to the actual student body who's paying their salary. I know these people. I have something that no other YouTube channel, no other media personality has. I've worked with them. I've looked into their soul. And what I saw reflect back to me sent chills up my spine because it was a vapid, empty, cold, dark, black hole of a crater that they call
All right, so we're going to go ahead. You guys can watch, again, I got his video link in the description. I just want to get through the material.
Influx of Haitian migrants. And on one side are some business owners saying Haitian migrants there are filling jobs Americans
love it.
do not want,
They're
helping the
getting
economy there.
subsidized by
On
the
the other
federal
side,
government.
local residents speaking out
Well,
against
let me share something again with you guys. The local business owners love it because the federal government is paying them money to hire these people. Who wouldn't like that, right? Who wouldn't like it? But why are they paying the money? Because they're trying to rig an election, in my opinion. That's why. Let's keep going.
instead.
Host of American Agenda, Bob Brooks, is live in Charleroi. He has more. Bob, good morning.
Good morning, Sean and Katie. Look, the reason I'm here, I grew up about 30 minutes down the road. I'm from this region. It's heartbreaking to see what has happened time and time again. Look, Charleroi right now
Right on.
is a
Right on, Just
microcosm
Willie.
of what is happening all across the Rust Belt, across the region. Factories are shutting down here, like the one behind me. I'm going to talk about that. And then you have migrants coming into small towns all across the Rust Belt just as well. For instance, here in Charleroi, 4,000 people. City officials say they've got about 2,500 Haitian Liberian migrants. And then the residents here, they feel like they're being forgotten. They're losing their jobs. Then they feel like they're losing their town on top of it. So a vicious cycle, one that continues here. So basically what's happening.
But Camel Toe will say that you're a racist, bigot, and homophobe if you don't agree with what's going on. It's just so disingenuous. We know the real reason why they're doing this. And it has nothing to do with being charitable. It has everything to do with trying to get the Electoral College to flip. That's all it is. They want to create a single party government. Could you guys imagine if America was like California? Could you imagine that? I mean, just one of the most corrupt states in the union. Newsom lost what, $28 billion just disappeared. Are you freaking kidding me? Is that what you want for your country?
The plant behind me, Corel Brands, they make glass products. It's set to shut down, barring a miracle. Just before Labor Day, they had another plant shut down called Quality Pasta. Obviously, they're making pasta products there. They're going to lose anywhere from about 500 to 600 full-time paying jobs. That's going to destroy a small town like this. And I've seen this movie play out time and time again. 300 jobs here at this factory, 400, 100 at Quality Pasta. Then on top of it, the people here, they're dealing, Sean and Katie, with this migrant influx. And it just hasn't been easy on them to see. It hasn't been easy on the town. It hasn't been easy on anyone here that has lived here for decades. This was their home. Let's listen to what they have to say.
They shut this factory down. It's going to cripple this town and the Mon Valley.
I'm devastated because we own our house. We've lived here. We're family. We're done lose everything down here. If this factory,
This
I'm
is
not
so
saying in
sad.
this town.
So
I'm not-
sad.
My child already lost 2 years of school. She's so far behind. She was supposed to go to Head Start, and they told her she couldn't go 2 weeks before school start because 20 immigrants came in and took her out of school. So we lost 2 years of school. So why would I want to stay in this town?
It's really sad what has happened to my hometown. I mean, it's hard for me to drive through here and just see what's left of it. And, you know, I've said before, this is beyond immigration. At this point, it feels like an invasion.
Wow.
It is an invasion.
Wow.
It is an
Wow. Holy
It's not like an
mackerel.
invasion. It's an invasion.
These poor residents. I mean, this is absolute insanity. I just got a new, let me know what your thoughts are on that. My goodness. By the way, Trump has said on day one, he's going to initiate the most massive deportation of all of these illegal migrants in the history of America. And I believe him 100%.
Okay, let's keep on going. I don't want it to be about politics, guys. I want it to be about loving your country. And so let's just get into this.
We're about to see.
If you love your country, you will not vote for Camel Toe Harris, period. Here we go. Team DLZ, here we go.
How you doing, man? How are you?
Team DLZ, check it out. Let's OTBO.
It's a public area. That's the policy doesn't override my constitutional right. So you can have any policy you like, unless it's a,
Any questions you have, you can feel free to go to
What's
one
that?
of those websites.
what does it say?
That's the legal department for the DMV. We can't answer any questions. That's who you contact should you have any questions.
Right.
You can keep that back. You can keep it.
Okay, thank you. My question to you is, first of all, what's your name?
I'm not gonna tell you, but I'm gonna show you that because right here.
Oh, this is a public area, sir.
Just
It
call
is
the
privately
police
owned,
over
actually.
there.
Are you
familiar?
Policeman, come to me.
This is the Bureau of
This is
Motor
DMV,
Vehicles. What
right?
are you talking about?
Are you hiding something? This is a First Amendment audit.
It's privately
You
owned
got to get
building.
police officer. Yeah.
Please don't.
So are we, Mama Lion.
I have the right to do this. It's my
I have
constitutional
no
right.
choice.
You're being audited right now, so please behave. Because you
Yeah.
can't lose your job, by the way, if you act improperly.
Those
Just giving you
Democrats
that
hate
This
warning.
is
this
not
guy.
a private area. No, they're wrong. They just don't want him to film.
It's another branch of the Democrat
It
Party.
says
This is
no
not a
DMV.
public office.
No,
This
no,
is
I
a
do not
DMV.
consent- I do not consent to being filmed, so this is
Might as well have
You
a
get paid by
Kamala
the
Harris.
city?
This is
vote
the
for Harris.
DMV. You can record at the
Officer.
DMV.
Here we go.
He called you.
He's refusing, he's refusing not to record.
This is public.
Nobody here is consenting to be filmed.
First Amendment audit on video recording in public places.
This isn't a public place, this is a privately owned facility.
How is it privately owned?
The building, it could be private, but you're conducting public information.
Yeah, you're conducting public information.
I understand.
By the way, it doesn't matter if it's a private building. What matters is if it's a government installation within the building. And I've been over this before with you guys. Again, I am a lawyer. I kind of know what I'm talking about. Let's keep going.
Reserve the right to refuse service and to ask you to please leave.
This is where I get my driver's license, right? Okay, so your agency is public, government agency. Ohio.
This is not owned by the state of Ohio.
So
This is not leased by the
He's
state.
going to call
this
the
guy's
supervisor.
completely
You're
full of
you're
crap.
wrong,
He's
man.
full of it. Yeah.
He has a
I do
constitutional
this
right
for a
to
living.
record.
You can do it
What
for
are
a
you
living,
hiding?
still
Is
have
the-
not-
Well, he's got a Kamala Harris bumper sticker on his card. 99% guarantee to that. Let's keep going.
If I say I don't consent to being
In a
recorded.
public place, I have the right to
Okay,
record.
have a seat.
I'm telling you,
Have a seat,
man.
but look,
I am, bro.
listen, but are you still-
Policeman
are you-
left.
Oh, listen to you.
So obviously he's right.
And that's fine. He's trying to get a rise out of me, but
Fascists.
he's not, and it's fine. You can't record anybody's personal information. There is.
I'm not here-
Let's see if we can fast forward. It's kind of a long video. So I just got this sent to me. This is, if you're just joining us, this is, stick around because I'm still going to show you the Ohio mother who tells a horrifying
It's
story
wild.
of what an illegal did to her daughter. But essentially, this is footage from an Ohio Department of Motor Vehicles.
Hold on.
and-
Let's look. We have one of the demon trolls saying, "Yo, America was built on immigrants." That's right. America was built on legal immigrants who support the Bill of Rights and the Constitution. They spoke English. They wanted to learn our way of life and assimilate. They didn't sneak across with machetes and kill our cats and dogs, flip cars and get free government assistance. When my great grandfather came to this country, guys, from Sweden, he took a steamship. He had hardly any money. He had to leave his wife and kids back in Sweden. He got a job selling apples on a train, making like 25 cents a day. He saved enough money, and after several years, he sent for his wife and children to come here. And I grew up loving my country. I was taught that America was a special place. And my family integrated, became successful. My dad, when he came back from Vietnam, serving his country as a Marine, dug ditches for $2 an hour, $2 an hour. And ultimately, he became the general manager for CBR Development. He built all of the Denny's restaurants and Winchell's Donuts in the United States. I grew up in that same construction business with him. I learned how to build homes from the ground up with my bare hands and started my own construction company, became an entrepreneur, owned several limousine businesses and other businesses, and ultimately became, after I was a Marine, because I was disabled from the Marine Corps, and ultimately became a lawyer with no undergrad or law school, and then went ahead and went to law school, got admitted into a law school with no college degree because I'd already passed the baby bar, which is the hardest exam there is in the country. It was less than an 18% pass rate when I took it. And I'm proud to be an American. And I would have gladly stood in line to do it all over to get where I'm at and to conform and assimilate. These people that are coming into this country are being offered free phones. They're being offered free hotels. They're being offered everything for free, subsidies to get a car at your expense. None of my founding fathers, those immigrants that America was built on, got any of that. They came here and worked their way and earned it. These people that are coming here are not earning it. They're being brought here for the purposes of swinging an election, in my opinion. Let's keep going.
And he was kicked out for filming illegals getting driver's licenses. They're not even legal citizens. And
That's
he's
right.
trying to say this is private, which makes no sense at
It's a
all.
scam. It's a scam. It's a political scam.
Yeah, I can't
designed
go
to
into a
rig
restricted
elections,
area or private office.
in my opinion.
And your officer, just your name and badge number for the record. Officer Hopewell, 914.
You have
Thank
the
officer,
right to
Springfield
film
Police.
anything to observe as a citizen. They cannot, unless you're being detained.
That's right.
Oh, here we go. Look.
Good job, Prof.
Bonsoir, monsieur. Are you from Haiti? Yo soy reportero. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cuándo viniste de Haiti? The temporary protective status?
They're telling him to shut up. Don't say anything.
They're telling him not to talk. They're telling him not to talk.
Coaching him.
Oh,
Might as well be the
wow.
Kamala
They're
Harris
telling him not to talk.
campaign right there in the
Fernando
DMV.
Arce here at the Springfield, Ohio DMV. We got a couple of Haitians here.
Unbelievable.
This woman to the right and her husband over there. They're from Haiti. They've been told not to talk to me, but you can see they're getting their documents. He has a driver's
on,
license
Just Willie.
here.
Wow.
He speaks Spanish, but I was almost thrown out of the DMV. They had to call the police on me, so they understand the right that I have to record in public place.
Oh, they know the right.
So that's insane. Oh
It
my
is
goodness
insane.
gracious. That is absolutely insane. Wow.
So
He
let's
was
see here.
thrown out
We're gonna push
because
this
he
forward
was
a little bit more because we got to keep it moving, guys. But I encourage you guys to go watch Prof's video. Here we go.
Actually, and one of my daughter is younger. So I want to talk about the crime a little bit.
Sure.
Personal crime. So she's been followed around Walmart. She's been stalked. She ran to her car, threw her stuff down, ran to her car. She was chased. Okay. They were immigrants. She was chased by a man with a machete.
ABC News.
Called the police.
Wait, but ABC News says this is misinformation. And if we didn't have Twitter, this stuff would be buried, guys. You'd never know about this. It would be buried on page 50,000 of Google. Let's watch this again. This is unfreaking believable.
Hi. So I have a young daughter. I have two daughters, actually. And one of my daughter is younger. So I want to talk about the crime a little bit.
Sure.
Personal crime. So she's been followed around Walmart. She's been stalked. She ran to her car, threw her stuff down, ran to her car. She was chased. Okay. They were immigrants. She was chased by a man with a machete.
What?
On her way to work. Called the police. She told them what had happened and wanted to file a report. 2 hours later, the police still had not called her back and never checked on the crime.
Wow.
So that's how you know there's no
Well, that's why you have a Second Amendment, guys, but that's another conversation for another day.
crime in Springfield because no one's reporting it.
That was your.
Yeah, the police are being
your
told to
daughter.
stand down by the city.
And do you, I mean, I guess, does she have any?
So if you didn't hear what she just said, she said her daughter had been stalked in stores and department stores. She said an illegal Haitian migrant chased her with a machete. Chased her with a machete.
So this is testimony before the city council. And there was also testimony before the city council before the last debate that the mayor and the city manager said, oh, there's nothing to see here. And of course, they have a property interest in the apartments and the factories where these Haitians, are basically a paycheck for these guys. And they're saying nothing to see here. The Ohio Attorney General said that's a lie. That's not true. But this ABC reporter said that Trump is lying about that. And all over the front page of Google, all over the newspaper, Trump is a liar. He lied about them eating pets. He lied about these Haitians. And it's just not true. There are 911 tapes of people calling in saying these Haitians are at the parks. They're ripping the heads off of geese and ducks. There's overwhelming evidence. As a lawyer, that's called evidence. And even though it might be considered hearsay, it's covered under the hearsay exception rule as an excited utterance or a present sense impression. These hearings are also the same. Let's keep going.
That is like, if you don't know what a machete is, hold on a second. Let me see if I can show you a picture of what a machete is.
Yeah, facts matter, right? Don't believe anything.
This is what a machete is.
The press is the
Holy
enemy of the
mackerel.
American people, in my opinion. I think he's trying to show us a picture of Machete over here.
That's what a machete looks like.
That's a small one. That looks more like a scythe. Machetes are much bigger. I go down to El Salvador.
So if you don't know what a machete is, that's what a machete is. And the mom said, yes, thank you, Meow. Meow says it's used for whacking down bush and grass. Exactly. And that is what this poor mom said. The illegal migrant was chasing her daughter with a machete, that huge knife that you just saw.
Now, ABC News or PMSNBC will immediately say that this woman is a racist, bigot, and a homophobe, right? That's their standard comeback. That's what all the blue-haired college kids say. They've been totally brainwashed by the great Leviathan. It's just unbelievable that this is going on in our country, guys.
Sense for whether those were illegal immigrants into the country? Is that she probably wasn't conversing with them while they're chasing her with a machete, but okay, readily identified. See, here's the thing, and it's uncomfortable to say this, but it's true. If your first act of entering the country breaks the law, then you're more likely to break the law when you're already here.
You're more likely to break the law when you're already here.
I don't like just talking about the easy issues. Let's talk about the hard issues. I mean, they hit President Trump a lot for the so-called, the one they really tried to nail him for was the family separation policy, right?
Right.
Anybody in this room know how many mothers in the United States of America are in prison right now? It's about 350,000, actually. And yes, I have a book coming out next week, and I've got a Fox Nation special coming out next week. It's called Truths.
Yawn. So, look, I'm not a big fan of this guy at all. I think he's a self-serving hypocrite, but what he's saying here is pretty true. Let's let the chips fall where they may, right?
Lays out a lot of these hard truths. That's one of the truths. It's a hard truth. It's about 350,000 mothers who are in prison.
That's
true.
true.
You know who we don't make them take with them? We don't make them take their kids.
Children.
Right?
Yeah, they're all
And we say that, that's a difficult situation, but you deal with it in a different way. And so I think we have to restore the culture of the rule of law in this country. In this town alone, double the number of shoplifting crimes in the last 2 years. 2 years, not a long time for shoplifting rates to double. Auto thefts are up by over 50% in that same time frame. And as you said, based on your daughter's story, that's against the backdrop of many of them likely even going unreported. We got to restore that culture of the rule of law. But part of the reason we're seeing this too,
yeah,
is that
snake in the grass.
many illegal immigrants into this country, many other criminals in this country, when they see the top law enforcement agencies in the United States of America themselves not following the law, then they rightly ask the question, well, why the heck should I have to follow the law anyway? So top to bottom and bottom to top, we have to restore the rule of law.
Yeah, he's right about that.
He is.
He's absolutely right about that. I mean, you would literally have to put me in jail. If somebody chased my daughter with a machete, I don't care who you are. You're going down. It's dirt nap time for you, pal.
Let's keep on going.
Rally.
Let's keep on going. You can watch this later.
About the Haitian migrant chasing her daughter with a machete, because that to me is completely, you've crossed the line. I mean, they've already crossed the line.
They have.
But it's like they invented a new line and just crossed it. It's insane.
In fact, our government is doing
bike everywhere, and I'm going to tell you what, you got a lot of mad people. You got people that are upset, and they want answers. But I watch them come in on buses. I don't know how we got them here. I don't know who's responsible. Did we become a sanctuary city? The people want to know. You got 4,000. Do we have any more? Did we vote on being a sanctuary city? Yes or no?
No.
No. Good. Because you've got a problem. We're not taking any more. We're not taking people who are kicking out people out of their houses.
If you look at the date, hold on a second. You can't see the date. Hold on a second. So look at the date on the bottom of your screen, August 29th, 2023. This is Biden-Harris policies that have been implemented,
destroying our country,
and strategized for God knows how long,
being done to win
because
an
they
election.
know they're going to need every bit of help they can to win the election
That's
in
it.
the worst, most
all this is.
nefarious, illegal, dishonest, deceitful way possible.
Absolutely.
So this is their chess move for God knows how long. Let's bring in what we're going to stop Trump policies on day one. Remember, Biden reneged on Trump's border policies on day one of his
That was
administration
terrible.
back in 2020.
That was a huge mistake.
2021, forgive me. I mean, literally on day one, he completely excommunicated all of Trump's policies.
That's right.
And he stopped the funding for the border wall. He
That's it.
stopped the ICE from doing their job. He stopped the Border Patrol from doing their job.
Bingo.
And then what came out yesterday, the ex-border chief, they also silenced them said, don't tell the media what we're doing. Don't tell the media the amount of criminals and terrorists that we're letting come into our country.
That's it.
But Madam Vice President, Mr. Vegetable in Chief, President Biden, don't you care what kind of ramifications this could have on the American public, on the people that you're supposed to serve? We don't care about that, was the response. Not verbatim. I'm not quoting them, but their actions have spoken that.
Bingo.
We don't care. But I'm sorry,
Okay.
Madam Vice President, Mr. Biden, President Biden, you do realize by letting all these terrorists and illegal immigrants into the country and not being able to track them and not being able to, have them go
Well,
through.
they can track them. That's why they gave them the phones, right? They can track them, but they don't care. That's the problem. They want to make sure that they're in red states so they can turn them blue. That's all they care about.
Through the normal protocol and processes and systems, that it could create chaos. Their response, we don't care. Just don't tell the media about it. August 29, 2023, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable. Every American should be livid right now.
That are driving erratically around town.
Stop this meeting if you start doing that.
Who's busting
Listen,
hang
you're out of order. Please.
I want to know who's busting them in. Who's responsible for that, and who can stop them from coming? We have a lot of people here. There is a lot of stores, since all this has happened, have had to put things in place
That's crazy.
to keep the theft down.
That's crazy.
I don't feel like I should have to go to Walmart or Kroger's and ask somebody just to get some deodorant out of a cabinet that is now locked. I have to get it out, go pay for it, and finish doing what I'm doing. That's wrong. It has never been that way. And now all of a sudden it is. Who's bringing them in? So I'm asking the question. I've been recognized that we have in place. We have to follow certain rules. If we drive without a license, we're going to jail. These people are getting a slap on the wrist saying, oh, it's okay. What'd they do to the person that hit the church the other day? Not a damn thing.
So Kamala and David Muir and all of these guys on the left, Julia Roberts and
Coming.
Meryl Streep and Bryan Cranston and Chris Rock. I can't believe Chris Rock. I don't know. Maybe
Well, all the people who went to Diddy parties and people who went to Epstein Island, many of them, think about it, guys. Do you really think they have any choice but to support this party? Because after all, the left is trying to lower the legal age of pedophilia. We know in California, they already did that. Scott Wiener made sure that old men can now, have legalized relations with little boys. And we know that. So we know what's going on. These Diddy parties are another example. They have no choice. If a guy like Trump got in, they'd all be prosecuted, right? So who else are they going to support? They're on tape. Diddy's got hidden tapes. The FBI's got the hidden tapes. This is a great Leviathan. This is a great scam that's been foisted upon the American people.
maybe it's a little more believable that Chris Rock would fall for Kamala because, the black thing, I'm sure, which is pretty racist and awful in its own right. But I actually liked Chris Rock. I actually liked Bryan Cranston. I actually liked Meryl Streep. I mean, these people have lost their mind. They're so out of depth.
I wonder
They're
why.
so out of touch. I can't wait for you to see this video that I'm going to be releasing later today. Holy mackerel, it's huge. They're not affected by any of this. Obama's not affected by any of this. Kamala's not affected by this. Biden's not affected. Hillary Clinton's not affected by any of this. None of the global elite, none of the Hollywood weirdo pedo elite, they're not affected by any of this. Of course not.
So that's pretty much, I think, the end of this one. Oh, yeah, we got another one here. And then we'll go. That'll be it.
Me a super chat or a super sticker. Shout outs are coming very soon after that. Here we go.
Double tap the screen. Give me some likes, guys.
Interpreters to teach the kids, let alone get to this part.
Yeah, they're having a huge problem, I think,
It's kind of ridiculous.
with trying to teach. There were 45 Haitians that started kindergarten this year.
Whoa.
45.
How big is
Wow.
kindergarten overall? A kindergarten class is probably no more than 60 at most.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and like one classroom is probably like a
Yeah.
20 kids, I'm
20,
thinking, maybe
30.
25.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
yeah.
like the majority of kindergarten is Haitian.
Yeah.
In what, 2 years? Something like that? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they don't speak English?
Well, actually, I think
Are they even trying?
the younger
They don't
kids
care.
speak more English than the older kids.
Okay. We're talking to a guy
Yeah.
tomorrow who he had to pull his 7th grader out of school because they just didn't have
Yeah,
resources. He was like,
I've heard stories like that.
Yeah.
One of the things, like I said, about the not speaking English, like middle school grades, where parents are having a problem because their kids can't advance because the teachers are having to compensate for the kids who can't speak.
Right.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
That is absolutely
right.
insane.
Insane.
Okay, so
that's going to be the end of this segment, but I still got more, so don't go anywhere, guys. So let's check this out. We've got, let me just see what's going on over in the sidebar here. So, guys, I know I want to thank my mods again. Thank you for keeping all the communist demons at bay. Thank you for going to war and fighting for Team MPE. And, guys, make sure to always, if you get a chance, get the digital version of my ebook, because this is the way that you can support my channel. My journey to becoming a practicing lawyer with no law degree or undergrad. This is my journey of how I did it. And I talk about the other states that have similar programs. I talk about the way that I was able to find lawyers to work under, my background in sales that helped me quite a bit do that, and how it was able to help me change my life, how I pursued the American dream the old-fashioned way, without a handout from the government, without a free cell phone, without government assistance, without canceling a loan, right, in exchange for votes. I did it because it's what I wanted to do. And I lived in a free country. I lived in a free country where it was possible for me to do that. And I wasn't singled out for the color of my skin or told that I'm an oppressor or something by some academic piece of garbage who doesn't even have the qualifications to shine my shoes. These people are not good people. And I did it, and you can do it too. And so that was the point of me having this book, to sort of give you encouragement. But right now, guys, we're in a real bind. Things aren't getting better. They're only going to get worse. Some estimates say there's 30 million people who have been swarming into our country. We have no idea who they are. We're giving them free everything to come here. Who do you think they're going to vote for? They're going to vote for the party who gave them everything for free. That's what's going to happen. Give me a bunch of ones if you agree with that. Now, let's get into what's going on with the DMV, because this is the grand finale. This is how they're going to do it. A lot of these people are clueless, and they don't really care if they get charged with a felony, because you know that the government's not going to kick them out. Heck, they don't even put child molesters in jail anymore. Let's keep going.
Don't they do that? Don't they do that inside? You register inside, don't you?
I mean, they allow us to do it over here because it looks like I don't know if they don't want to do it.
I wonder who she voted for.
It's only they check a box. That's all.
Why all the blue?
No, the blue is nothing. It just this is an organization. Yeah,
a non-government organization.
yeah, it's a non-government. It's me and Spanish, my family.
Yeah,
in
George
action.
Soros funded.
Are you registered to vote?
Yes, ma'am. And update information, like when the people changes the updated affiliation party or against. We know party affiliation. We're not allowed to talk about politicians.
You
here.
citizens?
No, ma'am.
Citizens?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
wonder who funds this here.
It's, you can Google it. 19142. This is our code organization. No, I cannot give you that because we have to. But you can search it.
But I want to tell you that most of the people that are coming, this was always packed. They're not even U.S. citizens.
Yeah.
So what do you have to sign up to vote? A driver's
Oh,
license?
yeah, really quick. So Benjai makes a point. What's crazy is the legitimate immigrants hate these people and they hate the Democrat Party. Well, why would they like them? I mean, these people have been standing in line for years trying to become legal citizens. And then all of a sudden, Camel Toe Harris and Sleepy Joe Dementia Biden just let them come across and give them free everything. I mean, what a slap in the face to people who want to do it the legal way. I mean, give me a bunch of ones for the Cubans and the Venezuelans who wanted to come here legally and pursue the American dream. Give me a bunch of twos for all the people who are doing an end run on the constitutional republic and in turn destroying this country just so a certain blue party can win an election. It's disgusting to me.
No. You have to be a U.S. citizen. It's a felony.
But how do you prove
It's
it?
a felony.
Oh, you have to trust in the people. If they lie, no. Listen to
You
me.
have to
If they
trust
lie,
them.
I know it's a felony.
exactly.
I know
If
it's
they
a-
lie, you know what?
They're not arresting anybody in this country, hon. We have
Yes, they do.
No,
If
they
they,
Amen,
if they do
CB.
the felony, and
Right
you're
on.
never gonna become a U.S. citizen if you do that felony. Never.
We know that.
They don't care.
Never,
Why would they
ever,
want-
ever.
Why would they want to become a U.S. citizen when they can just become a sacred cow and have everything free for the rest of their lives and never have to do jury duty? Think about that. That's the only difference. They don't have to do jury duty and they get everything free. It sounds like a good deal to me.
What do I need to prove that I'm
So anyways, there's that one. We got more. Guys, I got more for you. By the way, I got to thank my mods. Thanks for keeping all these demons out of the chat. We know that the enemy, the demons, Lucifer, wants to shut down this channel. They do not want this information getting out there. You know, before we had Twitter, there was no way this could ever get out. Trust me, YouTube, if there wasn't Twitter, now they have competition. They would have shut down my channel a long time ago, as they would have shut down Professor Nez. But now it's like, now they have competition because Musk has basically said, screw you guys. He exposed the revolving door employment scheme that the Biden administration had with the CIA and the FBI, right? Having their employees going back and forth with these cushy jobs and shaping policy and censoring and shutting down accounts that talked about the Hunter Biden laptop so he could allegedly win the election. I got to say allegedly win an election and steal an election allegedly. I mean, that's crazy stuff, right, guys? But now with Elon Musk, he's changed. He's flipped the script. That's why they hate him. That's where they're trying not to give him permits to launch his rockets. That's why they're trying to investigate him for employment violations and everything under the sun to try to hurt this guy. Trust me, guys, the entire administrative state, in my opinion, has become a Marxist leftist cabal dedicated to the destruction of the constitutional republic. Let's listen to this guy and learn more from Min.
The idea that someone would actually vote illegally with the penalties that are in place.
It happens all the time, Senator. It happens all the time. You're just saying it's not widespread. But I'm saying we don't know how spread it is. 'Cause
How
we
would
don't
you know?
detect it. I'm on the website
How would you know?
of the state of California to register to vote. On the section that has
Hypocrites.
where you put in your driver's license, your last four of your social, there's a box underneath each one that says, I don't have one. I don't have one. And then you're allowed to proceed to go to vote. So this idea that you're not allowed to register to vote unless you present some sort of identification is not accurate. It's not
a
true.
lie.
It's not being implemented in the state of California. Additionally, people are being registered to vote at the DMV. And we already know based on audits that the DMV has improperly registered people to vote, including illegal immigrants. And we have immunity in place that says if the DMV registers someone who is not eligible, they're immune from prosecution. So I don't believe we have sufficient safeguards in place that detect and prevent people from committing voter fraud.
The idea that someone would actually vote illegally with the penalties that are in place.
It happens all the time, Senator.
You
It
haven't
happens
pres-
all the
you
time.
haven't
You're just
presented-
saying it's not widespread. But I'm saying we don't know how spread it is because we don't detect it.
How would you
I'm
know?
on the website for the state of
I mean,
California.
talk about a lack of critical thinking skills, right? You allow people to vote without showing an ID or without proving their citizenship. And then you have this jackwagon over here saying, oh, well, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't vote when he very well knows what's going on. The Democrat Party just voted against a law that would make it illegal for non-citizens to vote, that only Americans could vote. They have to show an ID. They're saying it's racist to require an ID. Yet to get into the Democrat National Convention, everybody has to present an ID. This is the greatest fraud that's ever been perpetrated upon the American people, in my opinion.
To register to vote. On the section that has where you put in your driver's license, your last four of your social, there's a box underneath each one that says, I don't have one. I don't have one. And then you're allowed to proceed to go to vote. So this idea that you're not allowed to register to vote unless you present some sort of identification is not accurate. It's not true. It's not being implemented in the state of California. Additionally, people are being registered to vote at the DMV. And we already know based on audits that the DMV has improperly registered people to vote, including illegal immigrants. And we have immunity in place that says if the DMV registers someone who is not eligible, they're immune from prosecution. So I don't believe we have sufficient safeguards in place that detect and prevent people from committing voter fraud.
The idea that someone would actually vote illegally with the penalties that are in place.
It happens all the time, Senator.
You
It
haven't
happens
pres-
all the time. You're just saying it's not widespread. But I'm saying we don't know how spread it is because we don't.
All right. So we've had enough comedy for that. So let me just blow this up for you as best as I can. We're getting close to the end, guys, of the show. So just bear with me. Okay. So here is this looks like this is a Reddit comment. And of course, you don't know if it's totally believable, but I'm going to read this to you and I'll let you guys decide. So this poster says, so I applied for naturalization about a year ago and I had my interview around January of this year. During the interview, I was asked if I ever voted and I truthfully replied, yes. I voted back in 2018 Virginia election. I was 20 years old and moved to the States when I was 13. I had no idea I wasn't allowed to vote and was getting letters from the mail to register to vote, and the DMV as well as encourages me to vote. And I was being told that green card holders are able to vote. So after the interview, I was asked to send them my voter history, and I haven't heard from them since. My green card expires at the end of May 2022, and I've already applied for renewal. I contacted a firm, and they told me there's a high chance my residency gets revoked and possibly deported. What are my next steps? Okay, fine. There you go. People are voting because they don't even know that it's illegal to vote. So that jackwagon over there saying people knowing the penalties in place, they're getting letters in the mail saying it's okay to vote. And they're being told by people with these clipboards in front of the DMV that it's okay if they have a green card, they're eligible to vote. So here's another one. Let's share this one. I'm currently 20 now, seeking to get my citizenship status from my naturalized father. I arrived here 2 days ago. This was 12/2019, prior to my 18th birthday. In 2 of 2020, I registered for a license and was automatically granted a voter's card at the DMV. I mean, are you kidding me? Automatically granted a voter's card. So it has the face of legitimacy. They're purposefully making it look like, and these guys are foreigners. They don't know. Like that jackwagon, that senator or assemblyman in California. Oh, they know the penalty. They don't know the penalties. Okay. I'm telling you, they don't. He assumed that he had voting rights. And so we also assumed that the DMV assumes they're citizens because they didn't require his dad to submit an affidavit of support. He applied for a passport and voted nationally. He got a follow-up passport from an agency and he needs more documents to prove legal custody. It was rejected since he didn't provide enough evidence for legal custody, not eligible for citizenship. He now has consulted an immigration lawyer who doesn't know what to do. So for the legal custody, to get legal custody, to show that he had legal custody from his naturalized father, he had to produce a court order that his parents, but since his parents didn't marry, that classifies him as an illegitimate child. So his mom produced a notarized affidavit where she gave consent for him to permanently migrate to the father. And that means that he has physical custody. However, he needs a court order. Does he need a court order for legitimation? He doesn't know. How do I prove that they both agreed? He's like, this guy, these people are clueless. What I'm saying is these people, they're getting these licenses and voter registration cards as soon as they register for a driver's license. They don't know it's a felony. They're just going to vote. They don't know. They're clueless. Give me a bunch of ones if you guys agree this is a scam. Now, we're almost done, guys. So as you guys know, I covered the Enoch Burke story. And Enoch Burke is a Northern Ireland Christian school teacher. And we know that Christians are the enemy of the left, and they have been for years, especially in Europe, because they basically replaced the population with, in my opinion, jihadis from sub-Saharan Africa. And as a result of that, Christians are like persona non grata, especially in government. Now, Enoch Burke is a Christian who refused to use the pronouns of his students. And as a result of that, like, I guess they're trying to force, boys to be girls, girls to be boys. It's happening all over the world. They call it transhumanism, and it's what's being pushed by the World Economic Forum. And as a result of that, his brother Enoch, a school teacher in Ireland, was jailed for refusing to address children by pronouns, like for refusing to call a boy a girl, for example, because it goes against his religion, and it's also not scientific. It's ridiculous. So here's what happened. His brother went ahead to try to become a barrister, and a barrister is like a lawyer over in Ireland. And he basically, it's a similar program to how I became a lawyer, where you study under a lawyer or a judge for a specific period of time, and then you become eligible to become a lawyer, and you have to be sworn in or allowed to enter the bar through the courts. They basically let you come in, but you need a sponsor. And of course, he wasn't able to find a sponsor because the lawyers are terrified to help him because of the anti-Christian, pro-transhumanist agenda. They're terrified they'll lose their licenses to practice law. So let's listen to his story and what happened to him. Again, he's becoming a lawyer basically for the sole purpose of trying to help his brother, who's being thrown in prison for disagreeing that boys are girls and girls are boys. So here we go. This is going to blow your minds. It's only 6 minutes.
I'm a recently qualified barrister. In order to practice in the Irish courts as a barrister, one must undertake a year-long pupillage with a senior barrister. I'm making this video because I believe I am being blocked from joining the law library and from proceeding to practice in the courts. Earlier this week, the Minister for Justice, Helen McEntee, published a report about inclusion in the legal profession. And I'm wondering about the genuineness of Minister McEntee in publishing that report. I've written to her. This is now a very urgent situation. I am the brother of Enoch Burke, who is currently in Mountjoy prison. Enoch Burke does not agree with transgenderism. And I would say, neither do I. It is not a Christian belief. I am entitled to that view. The Irish Constitution gives me the freedom to have a religious belief. And I do not agree with transgenderism. I do not believe that a man can become a woman and that a woman can become a man. I do not believe that. And I would ask if Minister McEntee includes religion in her inclusion strategy.
Trust me, if he was a Muslim, he would have been let in right away. That's the hypocrisy, say many, that has been going on in the UK, which Camel Toe Harris is trying to bring to the United States.
She includes people who have a religious belief. I have spent the last 2 years seeking to obtain a master, turning over every stone in an effort to establish a pupillage relationship, but I have not secured a master. Now, if you...
a pupillage relationship would be typically, that's how I became a lawyer. You become a pupil under a judge or a lawyer and part of a pupillage group, and then you prove yourself, and then you're allowed to enter the bar. Let's keep going. It's a traditional way that they used to do it back in England, but I guess they still do it in Northern Ireland.
You cannot find a master. The Bar Council are supposed to assist in finding a master. It is unheard of that somebody would pass all their exams, meet all of the academic qualifications, obtain all of the necessary qualifications, and then come to the point where their application for the law library is simply left. That is unheard of. I have
Insane.
repeatedly requested assistance from the law library in establishing a pupillage relationship. The law library has made clear that every prospective member of the law library is assured of locating a master. That was stated to the Legal Services Regulatory Body, which is a state body. That was stated in a submission made by the law library in 2018. Further to that, we have a statement from the law library that there are enough masters for pupils. So essentially that everybody can be assured that they will
Unless you're a
locate
Christian.
a master. On the 4th of July, 2024, I attended my pre-admission interview in the Church Street building here in Dublin with 2 members of the library committee. The panel consisted of 2 barristers who were members of the library committee. One was Mr. Femi Danian, barrister at law. The other was Ms. Wafa Or Memon, barrister at law. At that meeting, I raised the issue of assistance in locating a master. However, I was surprised at the response I received. I was told there was a unanimous statement to the effect that I would not be receiving any assistance
Because
from
he's a
the
Christian.
Bar Council in locating a master. I was told that it was solely a matter for myself. I was told that should I not be able to secure a master by the deadline, my application could simply be left. It could be deemed incomplete and rejected on that basis. It is extremely distressing. It is extremely
cool, Kinetic. We're
upsetting that I would be told this by representatives of the law library when it is in contradiction of submissions that the law library has made. I have studied law for 5 years. I have a Bachelor of Civil Law from the University of Galway. I have a Master of Law degree from the University of Cambridge. I spent a year at the Honourable Society of King's Inns. I have expended an enormous amount of effort, hard work, and indeed financial resources on my legal education. I don't come from a rich family. I have had to work hard. I have had to work part-time to finance my legal education. I have performed extremely well academically. On more than one occasion, on several occasions, I have been recognized for outstanding academic achievement. I was awarded the Oxford University Press Prize in 2019. I was awarded University of Galway Scholar Awards in 2020.
Okay, you guys, go easy on the infighting in the sidebar. Sigovit's been on the channel for a long time. I know sometimes some of my audience gets a little out of control. Just try to go easy on him. CB's a new mod, and we're a little bit different than the other channel, but I've got a lot of respect for CB, and I've got a lot of respect for everybody on the channel. So try to get along, because this is a nonpartisan channel. We have Democrats, we have Republicans, we have Libertarians, and we're all here because we support natural law. We are natural law advocates. We believe in it, that less government means more freedom. Let's go ahead and let this guy finish what he's got to say, and then I'll take questions from the audience and we'll call it a night.
In 2021, I was called first to the bar on the 11th of October of 2023, indicating my academic ranking. And I believe it is very unfair that I would be told that I will not receive any assistance in the location of a master.
That's crazy.
On the 17th of September,
that's insane.
Justice Minister Helen McEntee published a report on barriers to admission.
The government is completely against anybody who's a Christian. Just notice that. It's just like reading the book of Revelations in the end times. I mean, it's really happening in real time before our eyes. It's just nuts to me.
To the legal profession. She stated, "I believe passionately that we must do all we can to widen and increase access to education, training, and career opportunities in the legal sector." She also stated,
unless you're a Christian,
any person who has the skills, and the determination to pursue a legal career should be able to do so, irrespective of their gender, background, ethnicity, or means. She mentioned ethnicity, she mentioned gender, she mentioned means, but she didn't mention religion. I do have religious beliefs. I don't know if Helen McEntee's statement applies to me, but I have written to her, I have asked her to intervene in this situation, and I'm awaiting a response from the Justice Minister.
She won't, and that's the problem, guys. We see that the government, we've seen this happening all around the world. The World Economic Forum has their young world leaders in high positions of power, and they support a transhumanist agenda where Christians are public enemy number one. And they support the whole concept of sterilization and population control. And we're seeing it unravel itself in real time. And right now, with the illegal alien invasion of this country, there's a high probability that this country will be a single party country after this next election. They've got all the systems in place. They have the United States Post Office just gave their endorsement to Harris. We know that they say that you can't even put a dollar bill in the mail without it getting stolen, but yet somehow your votes are secure. We've seen post office trucks pulling up in the middle of the night, dropping off ballots, and all of a sudden the election swings the opposite direction when the other candidate was winning. We've seen that before our eyes. And so the government would have us say, don't believe your lying eyes. You see politicians saying, nobody would vote illegally. The penalties are too great. But yet the DMV automatically gives illegal aliens voters' registration cards based upon the testimony we've seen before the legislature just now, before our lying eyes on camera. And so we know that it happens. And then people say, well, prove it. No courts have found that. But how could a court find that when there's no identification or way to prove the people who voted were citizens or not? It's impossible. So that's all. You're seeing it happen before your eyes. The systems are in place for a one world government. And we've seen that people who disagree with it are called racists, bigots, and homophobes, right? You see it. Give me a bunch of ones if you're seeing it with your own eyes. I'm seeing it. Now, let's see. We got a comment here from Benjai saying, I could prove to you very, very unnatural stuff about the 2022 midterms, Michael. I have files and data. Hey, look, man, I've seen the surveillance camera of these mailboxes where you see like a lady walk up with a BLM t-shirt and she's dropping in like 30 or 40 into like a single vote mailbox. I mean, it's just too easy to cheat. And these people are being weaponized. Orange man bad, orange man bad. He's a danger to democracy. We have to do anything we can to stop him. People are trying to take him out, trying to shoot him. Why wouldn't some like person who's been ignited by all of this rhetoric vote illegally? Why wouldn't they? What would stop somebody like that? They might feel that it's their duty, right? Because they've been encouraged by a high official to do it. Yeah, right? So that's what we have going on right before our very eyes. And we just saw that Congress tried to pass a voter ID legislation and it was shot down. Johnson was supposed to shut down the government in order to make sure that bill would pass, and he caved. How many of you people think that the CIA and the FBI have a dossier on him? All they'd have to do is pull out some pictures of him getting it on with a little golden boy, and that would be the end of it. He would go ahead and table that legislation. And that is why I believe that these administrative agencies and the legacy news media have sadly become the enemy of the American people. And give me a bunch of ones if you guys agree with that. Now, that'll be the end of this show for tonight. I've got to go for the weekend. I know you guys are exhausted. I appreciate you guys joining me. Please, to support the channel, pick up a copy of my book, My Journey on How I Became a Lawyer with No Law Degree or Undergrad. You can get the digital version for about $19, $19.99. Go to my YouTube channel. On the description, you just open it up, go down, and you can get a copy for yourself, share it with your family and friends. Even if you don't want to read it, it'll definitely give you encouragement, because I teach you that the American dream is still possible without a handout. You don't need a handout from the Biden administration or Camel Toe Harris in order to be successful in this world. In fact, handouts encourage mediocrity. Getting a participation trophy is basically all a handout is. You'll never know that you did it on your own. And that's a real shame. So I appreciate it, Sigavit and Benjai and What's the Matter You and Kinetic Customs Racing and Kurt Bronson for showing up. Mama Lion, thank you so much for joining my show today. And CB, A Moment in Time, I appreciate you showing up with that beautiful profile of yours. And everybody else who joined me. I don't want to miss anybody. I really appreciate my mods. You guys are always coming through, keeping all the demons out of the channel. Really, really appreciate it. And Kurt Bronson, Jody Shiloh, thanks for joining me. So hopefully I'll see you guys next Monday. And make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to save, because we never know when the thought police are going to take down this channel. Semper Fi, do or die. And by the way, if anybody runs across Professor Nez and can have a convo with him, I sure would love to have him on as a guest or come on his show as a guest to talk about the law and natural law theory, and an understanding, because I heard him mention the word democracy today. No, America is not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic. Our founding fathers specifically hated democracy, and that's why it's not mentioned in any of our founding documents. So we need to re-educate people. But it makes sense if he was a commie professor, right? He's probably still recovering. He needs to go to an AA meeting and go to like the Constitutional Republic meeting, right? And we'll do that on my channel. So Semper Fi, do or die. I'll see you guys real soon.